I'm not even sure what to think of these new scientific developments. All I can tell you is that there's news out now that NASA has proposed that warp travel might indeed be scientifically plausible. That now, as someone that actually majored in physics, I'm gonna explain this shit to you as simply as I can. Imagine that we cannot feasibly use the energy in our universe to go faster than the speed of light. What they are proposing is that there might be this theoretical principle called negative energy, i.e. divide by zero. They are hoping that they can encase whatever machine or craft or whatever that is going to manipulate warp travel to basically exist in a parallel existence all of its own. Just imagine in your mind there's a spaceship in a bubble, and within this bubble exists its own physics. And in this own physics, it uses negative energy, i.e., dividing by zero, infinite negative energy. And that's how it moves itself forward, by manipulating this negative principle, and thus nothing on the outside is interfered. It's simply within the paradigm of this bubble that is moving forward. Now, there's a few flaws in this argument. That's why the news article mentions bubbles and negative energy, but it doesn't really go into detail for the common folk. Now, there's a few problems with this. Number one, we don't know if this concept of negative energy even exists. If it does exist, would we be able to stop it once we do it? Let's say you get something in that negative bubble and start moving forward. Would you be able to stop moving forward? Would you be able to go backward? Things like that. So, just tapping into the bubble does not necessarily mean control over the bubble. And then whoever poor unfortunate sap happens to be in the bubble may be trapped indefinitely in an infinite loop. The second emotion is, what if there is a miscalculation and it doesn't use negative energy, it uses physical energy. It uses the energy that we know in the physical universe. Well, then that would mean, since it's trying to go faster than the speed of light, that it would require infinite energy, which means you would burn out all the energy in the universe before you even began. So that would be an omniscient death. That would mean the entire destruction, the destruction of the entire universe. So that's a pretty big scale. They're fucking with some pretty hardcore shit. And they said the same thing about the Hadron Collider, and nothing really became of it. They were hoping to recreate the Big Bang and form a very, very miniature black hole, and I didn't hear anything about that. So I don't know if that went as planned. I don't know if it did anything at all or what. All I can tell you is that based off scientific theory, these are the possible outcomes. And I'm not even really here to discuss whether or not the dangers outweigh the possible benefits or things like that. What I want to talk about is how we are at a point in time where we can have these kinds of scientific discussions, and yet we're getting fucking banned everywhere. I mean, think about that for a minute. We're of a state of mind where we can conceivably make technology to travel through space and pretty much have no limitations whatsoever in the physical realm, but meanwhile we're still putting up with fucking twats on the internet, censoring us, humiliating us, banning us, degrading us, raping us ad infinitum. We're still having to deal with the same plights as our animal ancestors, even though we're delving into the concept of multi-physics, negative energy fucking bubbles. That's what I'm trying to get at here. That's why I was always kind of laughed off the stage in my physics studies and when I would get up there with my theories and things like that. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much we advance technologically, we always seem to be stuck in this frame of mind of being the biggest dick on the fucking planet, in the fucking universe, and beyond all of that. It just seems that no matter how far we come, it always comes back to being this big, masculine, chauvinistic gorilla that flexes its muscles against other people. And there are people on 4chan that I brought this news to that said just that. Hold on, let me see if I can find the quote. But damn, I got a lot of fucking replies awfully quickly. If I can't find it, I'll just talk on without it. You know what, fuck it. Basically, the guy said that, I need to suck it up, and I need to be the one to come up with some scientific discovery. Yes, that's my obligation as a human being, so that I don't get raped by you, and so that I no longer am tormented and traumatized by your bullshit. I have to do something fucking spectacular, where there's graffiti and shit. And then, just maybe, people will treat me with dignity and respect. No, it doesn't fucking work that way. I don't bust my ass for you. I don't think anyone busts their ass for anybody, or at least shouldn't have to. I know that's the world they try to, enforce on us. I know that's the rule of moral law that they try to impose on us. But no, you do not work for the pleasure of somebody else. You work for your survival. That is how our species has lived this long to be able to have this discussion. The fact is, men long, long ago figured out fire, and they used fire to survive the cold. They also learned that fire can cook meat and makes it less bacteria-ridden, and they won't die of sickness from it. They also learned how to make spears and other sharp tools to kill animals that may threaten them and their tribe, or just to eat them and have, food in their belly so they don't starve, and things like that. It just kind of became that, but more sophisticated, more intricate, more complicated. But generally, we have always just used tools to survive. And now we are discussing using tools for our own recreation. I wouldn't even say discussing it, we are doing it right now. But the gist of it is that humanity cannot feasibly survive on this planet alone. Just given global warming, given all the things that could happen, we're basically playing the lottery every single day of our lives. And so the only realistic way for humanity to survive infinitely would be to discover space travel. But the philosophical question is, does humanity have a right to survive? I mean, on an individual level, it is a biological impulse to want to survive. We want to live. I understand that. And I think biologically we want our species to live as well. But is it a right, or is it simply a privilege we have endowed upon ourselves at the expense of every other living thing that could possibly ever live or exist? That is the main question. And a lot of people are going to think that I'm just mixing philosophy in with hard science and, just trying to appear pseudo-intellectual and some kind of hippie guy and misanthropic and shit like that. But in reality, think it's just so simple. You are in this state of mind where you can consider quantum physics and be successful at it, and meanwhile you're still a stupid fucking ape that is going around saying, you're gonna ascribe to my rules, or I hit you with a club. Or, you're only going to succeed on the terms I have made for everybody, or I hit you with a club. That's what these motherfuckers on 4chan are coming down to. When you get down to the nitty gritty, what they're essentially saying is, I did not do the proper things necessary to be viewed as a respectable citizen. I did not do what I was supposed to do to be treated with respect and dignity and love and compassion. And so they have the right to abuse me. But they think they have the privilege, they think they have the destiny, they think they have this natural right to go into space. Why? So they can pull that bullshit on other people? whatever you want to call alien life, so that they could go colonize other planets and kill them the same way the white man killed the Indians, so that they can destroy life as we know it and life beyond that, so that they can say fuck this planet and just rape it of whatever little resources are left. And most of us, 99.9% of us, will never live to see the day that all of this comes to be. And even if we do live to see the day that we're never going to be able to enjoy the benefits of it, I guarantee you, if you ever have your science fiction utopia, you are not going to be Star Trek. You are not going to be Star Wars. You're never going to be fucking Captain Kirk or a Jedi. You're going to be the same person you are now, serving cheeseburgers to some fat ass, scrubbing toilets and cleaning gutters, and people are still going to fucking spit on you. Think about that. That's what it comes down to. You're going to have all this amazing technology. Look at the fucking technology you have now. You couldn't conceive this 100 years ago. And you have come this far, and people are still fucking spitting on you. People, at the end of the day, truly believe that it is their entitlement to treat you this way. That you should just deal with it. It's just part of the way things are. Well, if we can bend the very laws of physics, why can't we bend the laws of man? Why can't we bend the laws of tradition? Why can't we bend the very law that it is somehow our responsibility to deal with all of this bullshit? That we exist for the preservation of a species that doesn't give a fuck about us individually. So what I'm proposing to you all is to oppose this. To do whatever you can to protest against this scientific development. Whether it be from a green perspective of how, this might harm the environment, and trust me, if it can destroy the universe, I'd say that's pretty harmful toward the environment. You can argue it from a religious perspective. You can argue it from a conservative perspective. Science is always expensive. And in our kind of economy, can we really afford to spend the money necessary to delve into negative fucking bubbles? So, whatever argument you gotta make, I don't fucking care. But when humanity is prepared to stop being a dick, when we're actually prepared to use the technology we have now with reason and respect and with love and care, then we can worry about negative fucking bubbles. But until the day the Jim Prophet can buy a video game, play Halo 4 or what the fuck ever, and not have to worry about getting banned, or it can actually have a discussion on a message board and not get fucking banned, and people understand that that isn't right, and that naturally, because of the position they're in, to have those kinds of command prompts at their disposal to be able to eject me from the forum, they shouldn't be able to do it, because that power breeds a certain privilege only available to them, not to me, and that we should be equal, then no. I don't want to see humanity advance. I truly want to see humanity suffer and die. Because why should we do anything otherwise? Why should we go out into space if we're not mentally and spiritually prepared for it? We're just going to become a virus. We are already a virus. We have already killed billions of different species. We kill each other. We don't give a fuck. And you're going to tell me that just because, for the sake of itself, that we're supposed to go out into fucking space and ruin the entire goddamn universe? No. That's all I have to say.